You were not just taught how to behave. You were taught how to be seen behaving. There's a difference. Morality, for most people, is not internal clarity. It is external performance. You don't just try to be good. You try to be recognized as good. Polite, kind, respectful, responsible. Not because you always feel it, but because it is expected. So you learn something subtle. It's not enough to act. You must act in a way that is visible, acceptable, and approved. And slowly, morality shifts from being a way of living to becoming a way of presenting yourself. This is performance morality. You don't ask, "Is this true for me?" You ask, "How does this look?" And that question changes everything. Because now, your actions are not guided by clarity. They are guided by image. You help, but you also want to be seen as helpful. You listen, but you also want to be seen as understanding. You sacrifice, but you also want to be seen as selfless. And again, this is not manipulation. It is conditioning. From childhood, you were rewarded for certain behaviors. Good boy, good girl, that's how you should be. And punished for others. Don't be rude, don't talk like that, be nice. So you didn't just learn morality. You learned which version of you gets accepted. And you adapted. You adjusted your tone, your reactions, your expressions. Not because you were fake, but because you were learning how to belong. Over time, this adaptation became automatic. Now you don't consciously think, "I will perform goodness." You just do it. You smile when you don't feel like it. You agree when you don't fully agree. You stay when you want to leave. And it feels normal. Because you've been doing it for so long. But something inside you knows that this is not fully real. And that creates tension. Not loud tension. Subtle. A quiet discomfort. A slight resistance. A feeling that something is off. But you ignore it because performance morality works. It keeps relationships smooth. It avoids conflict. It maintains your image. So why question it? Because it comes at a cost. The cost of self-contact. You stop knowing what you actually feel. Because before you feel, you adjust. Before something becomes clear, you filter it. So your actions are always slightly delayed, slightly edited, slightly shaped. And over time, you lose access to what is unfiltered in you. This is why you feel confused sometimes. You don't know if you are being kind or just avoiding discomfort. You don't know if you are helping or trying to be seen as helpful. You don't know if you are patient or just suppressing irritation. Because the line between truth and performance is blurred. And this is the core problem. Not morality itself, but the performance of it. Because performance morality is unstable. It depends on observation. When people are watching, you behave a certain way. When they're not, you relax. This creates a split. Public self, private self, and maintaining this split takes energy. You become careful, measured, aware of perception. You start thinking, will this make me look bad? Will this hurt my image? Will they misunderstand me? And slowly, your life becomes a series of controlled expressions, not raw, not immediate, not fully yours. Now here's the deeper layer. Performance morality doesn't just shape behavior, it shapes identity. You start believing, I am a good person. But that identity needs maintenance. You must continue acting in ways that support it. So when something in you doesn't match, anger, jealousy, selfishness, you hide it. Not because it's dangerous, but because it doesn't fit the image. So instead of understanding it, you suppress it. And what is suppressed doesn't disappear. It accumulates and eventually it leaks in frustration and passive aggression and sudden reactions. And then you feel guilty. Not because you saw something clearly, but because your behavior didn't match your image. So you correct yourself again. And the cycle continues. Performance, suppression, leakage, guilt, correction. This is how most people live, not consciously, but consistently. Now, what is the alternative? Not immorality, not rebellion, clarity. Clarity.
And this is where the sacred human stands differently. The sacred human does not reject morality. He rejects performing it. He doesn't try to appear good. He tries to see clearly what is happening in him. If kindness arises, he acts on it. If irritation arises, he doesn't pretend it's not there. He notices it, not to express it blindly, but to understand it. Because for him, what matters is not how he appears. What matters is what is real in that moment. This doesn't make him perfect, it makes him honest. And honesty is not always comfortable. Sometimes he says no when others expect yes. Sometimes he stays silent when others expect engagement. Sometimes he walks away when others expect compliance. And this creates friction because people are used to performance. They expect consistency of image. But the sacred human is not maintaining an image. He is responding to reality. And reality changes. So his behavior is not fixed, it is alive. One moment he may be soft, another moment direct. Not because he is inconsistent, but because he is not editing himself to fit a role. This is often misunderstood. People may say, you've changed, you're different now, you're not the same. And they are right, because he is no longer performing the same pattern. He is not bound by identity. He doesn't need to be seen as good. He doesn't need to be seen as right, because he has seen something deeply. That goodness without awareness is just repetition, and repetition is not truth. So what does he do differently? He pauses before acting, before responding, before agreeing, not to calculate, but to see what is actually happening in me right now. And from that seeing, action comes, not perfect, not always comfortable, but real. Sometimes that action aligns with traditional morality. Sometimes it doesn't, but it is not based on image. It is based on clarity. And clarity has a different quality. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't need approval. It doesn't need to be explained. It simply is. This doesn't make life easier. In fact, it can make it more uncomfortable. Because you stop hiding behind behavior. You face your reactions directly. You see your intentions clearly. You don't escape through performance. But something else happens. You become lighter. Not because problems disappear, but because you are no longer carrying an image. You don't need to maintain consistency of personality. You don't need to be a certain way. You just need to be present enough to see
And that is enough. Because from seeing, right action emerges, not from rules, not from conditioning, not from fear, but from direct understanding. So the sacred human does not follow morality blindly. He does not reject it either. He simply refuses to turn it into performance. He lives, not to be seen as good, but to be in contact with what is true. And in that contact, something deeper than morality appears. Not rules, not ideals, clarity. And from that clarity, action becomes simple, not easy, but simple. No performance, no image, no unnecessary correction. Just a human, seeing clearly and responding without pretending. That is beyond performance morality. That is the sacred human.